Hello, I'm Neil Whelan, and welcome to the Wesleyan podcast. This is part 9 of Wesleyan Financial Services 10 Financial Truths Every Dental Practice Owner Should Know. As before, this podcast is for information only and doesn't constitute financial advice. But if you feel like you would like some advice, I'll be back later to let you know how to get in touch with us. Now, though, I'll hand you over to Regional Manager Simon Cosgrove for part 9. A clear exit strategy needs more than guesswork.
A well thought out exit strategy is essential to dental principals, and it's really important to start that strategy as early as possible. The planning of it should start at least 10 years before the planned exit, and it's something that tends to be overlooked. Dentists know that they've got this value in the practice and they can get that value out from the sale, but some dentists don't consider how long a sale would take, how much the valuation of the practice might be, and when they've got this money, what are the taxation implications? Is that funding going to be sufficient to maintain their desired standard of living in retirement? One of the first things to consider is when is the right age for you to leave. Some people choose 60 automatically, which is a suspiciously round number when you think about it. I mean, why not 59? Why not 61? It's just one of those numbers that people fixate on. So think about what's right for you, and also the funding that you've got in place. Is the income and the capital that you've got sufficient to maintain your standard of living throughout retirement? You need to think about what's right for you and the way that you're going to do it as well. So you're going to go full into retirement. So you're in work on a Friday, and then on a Monday, you're retired. That's it. Some dentists sell a practice and then go part-time, so they can continue working in the practice a couple of days a week, and they find that that eases them into retirement a little bit more, rather than the cliff edge of the Friday to Monday scenario. Some people sell their practices and do something completely different, something they've always wanted to do. Maybe they'll open a pub or something, and then they'll do something completely different to dentistry just to get away from it all. So thinking about when is going to be the right time for you and the right method, i.e. fully into retirement or part-time, is one of the first things to think about. Another thing to think about is the implications to any other partners or shareholders in the practice, and also the practice as a whole. So the implications to the patients and the handover process, i.e. letting the patients know that you're no longer going to be there and what's going to happen to them, providing them with reassurance, because they will understandably be concerned if a dentist that they've dealt with for many years is suddenly no longer going to be there. This goes some way to helping ensure that the practice can continue in a financially secure manner. It's unlikely that all partners are going to want to retire at the same time. So one partner leaving, retiring, means that the partnership is still likely to continue in some way. If you are selling the practice, who are you going to sell it to ensure that financial stability? Are there existing associates within the practice who might be interested in buying into it? Are you going to bring in a third party? All of this has got to be underpinned by a solid partnership agreement or shareholder agreement, so that everyone knows where they stand in terms of timescales, how much notice do you have to give, the general T's and C's around it as far as the partnership is concerned. So it's something that takes a lot of planning. And the partnership agreement was probably put into place when the partnership was first set up. It's important to review those over the years to make sure they still reflect everyone's wishes. The practice valuation is also vitally important as well. That's going to dictate the capital that comes out of the practice. So it's worth using the last few years of working life before the sale, getting the practice as efficient as it possibly can be to make sure that the value is the maximum possible. Obviously, it's got to continue running smoothly, but try and make it as tax efficient as it possibly can be, because the sale proceeds of the practice are going to be a significant part of your retirement income and capital, and you don't want a big chunk of that to disappear through taxes when you sell. It's important that you consider your retirement objectives as well. How do you want to spend your retirement? How much income will you need? What are you spending? And is your expenditure going to change when you do retire? Then you can start to plan around the sources of your retirement income once you know what you need to spend. So it could come from the practice sale proceeds, it could come from the NHS pension or any other personal pensions that you've built up over the years. It can come from other savings and investments that you have. Some dentists that I've dealt with over the years have sold the goodwill part of the practice, but they've maintained the ownership of the practice building. So that keeps them involved in the practice and also gives them a regular income stream throughout retirement from the rent of the building. So there's various ways of doing things as far as an exit strategy is concerned, but it's got to be clear from your perspective in terms of timescale and what your retirement looks like in terms of income and expenditure. Having a dental specialist financial planner can help with this. So at Wesleyan, we will run cash flow models for our dentists to ensure that they've got enough income and capital and that it will last throughout their full retirement. And that's an essential part of it. You've built up this practice over many, many years, and it's important not to fall at the final hurdle and make a mistake, because a lot of the decisions that are made at retirement and at the sale of a practice are irreversible. So it's important to get the right advice to ensure that it's right for you and your individual circumstances.
And that's our show. Thank you to Simon. Look out for the other 9 parts on YouTube or wherever you download your podcasts. If you are looking for expert financial advice, go to wesleyan.co.uk, where you can book an appointment with one of our specialist financial advisors. Charges may apply, but we won't charge you until you've agreed the services you require and the associated costs. Find out more at wesleyan.co.uk/charges. To learn more about Wesleyan more generally, you can find us on the website formerly known as Twitter, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. But that's it for now. So until next time, thanks for listening.